Hello, Bob? Are you with me?
I wish I had more time.
Why don't you have more time?
Everyone knows Star Wars and Alien dominated 1970s science fiction.
Magnificent. You've never seen anything until you've seen the sun through the rings of Saturn.
But hiding in the shadows were dozens of films that never got their moment, movies that disappeared into limited releases, foreign obscurity, or drive-in oblivion. Some were too weird, too political, or too ahead of their time. Others just had terrible luck with distribution. But lost doesn't mean worthless. These 15 forgotten sci-fi films prove the decade was far stranger and more ambitious than anyone remembers. Let's dig into the vault and resurrect some buried treasures. 1. Dark Star, 1974. Before Halloween made him famous, John Carpenter created Dark Star on a shoestring budget of $60,000. This college film project somehow became a theatrical release, following a bored spaceship crew destroying unstable planets while dealing with a beach ball alien and a bomb with existential philosophy. The film vanished into cult obscurity because nobody knew what to make of it. Too comedic for serious sci-fi fans, too weird for mainstream audiences. Its limited release meant most people never even heard of it. But Dark Star's DNA is everywhere. Dan O'Bannon took his alien concept directly into Alien. The blend of cosmic horror and dark comedy influenced everything from Red Dwarf to Event Horizon. It proved low-budget sci-fi could be smart, funny, and genuinely innovative. 2. The Final Program, 1973. British director Robert Fewest adapted Michael Moorcock's novel into a psychedelic fever dream nobody was ready for. John Finch played Jerry Cornelius, a dandy assassin navigating a collapsing world to become humanity's next evolutionary step. It mixed spy thriller, dystopian satire, and superhero origin into something completely unique. American audiences never got the chance to embrace it. The film received minimal U.S. distribution, and critics dismissed it as incomprehensible nonsense. Its trippy visuals and non-linear storytelling felt too art house for sci-fi crowds. But in Britain and Europe, The Final Program became a cult treasure. Its exploration of identity, technology, and human evolution feels remarkably modern. Moorcock's eternal champion concept influenced decades of speculative fiction, and this forgotten adaptation captured its anarchic spirit perfectly. 3. Idaho Transfer, 1973. Peter Fonda produced this bleak ecological thriller about teenagers using a homemade time machine to escape Earth's environmental collapse. Director Peter Fonda created something genuinely unsettling. Young people arriving in a future where humanity simply doesn't exist anymore, and the planet is dying regardless of timeline. The film disappeared almost immediately. Its depressing tone, amateur actors, and minimal plot made it nearly impossible to market. Drive-ins didn't want it, art houses didn't know about it, and audiences weren't ready for sci-fi this hopeless. Watching Idaho Transfer today feels prophetic and terrifying. Its warnings about ecological catastrophe made 50 years ago ring louder than ever. The film's raw documentary style and refusal to offer comfort make it one of the decade's most honest portrayals of environmental anxiety. 4. The Daytime Ended, 1979. A family in the desert encounters time vortexes that bring dinosaurs, tiny aliens, and interdimensional chaos to their modern home. The Daytime Ended had wildly ambitious ideas, but a poverty row budget that couldn't possibly deliver on them. The result is fascinatingly chaotic. It went straight to drive-ins and disappeared into obscurity. Critics who saw it called it incomprehensible. The special effects ranged from surprisingly decent to laugh-out-loud terrible, and the plot made almost no sense. Yet there's something charming about its sheer ambition. The filmmakers wanted to create a cosmic epic about time, space, and reality itself, and somehow convinced a studio to let them try. It's a beautiful disaster that proves passion sometimes matters more than budget or coherence. 5. The People, 1972. Kim Darby starred in this TV movie about a teacher who discovers her isolated mountain community consists of telepathic aliens hiding from persecution. Based on Zena Henderson's beloved stories, it mixed supernatural abilities with themes of prejudice, acceptance, and finding your tribe. TV movies rarely achieved cultural immortality, and the people vanished after its broadcast. No theatrical release, limited reruns, and for decades, no home video meant an entire generation never knew it existed. But for those who saw it, the people left a lasting impression. Its gentle approach to aliens among us storytelling influenced everything from Cocoon to Midnight Special. The film treated its refugee aliens with dignity and compassion, making it far more sophisticated than typical 1970s television. 6. Welcome to Blood City, 1977. Imagine The Matrix set in the Old West, made 20 years too early. Welcome to Blood City follows people trapped in a virtual reality simulation designed to train assassins. Except the players don't know it's fake. Kill enough people, and you might escape to reality. This Canadian production received almost no American distribution. Its mixture of Western and sci-fi confused audiences, and its dark premise about manufactured violence felt too grim for entertainment. The film was exploring virtual reality ethics, simulated consciousness, and the morality of killing in games decades before these became mainstream conversations. Its ideas about people trapped in constructed realities without their knowledge. 7. Murders in the Rue Morgue, 1971. Edgar Allan Poe's story got reimagined as psychedelic horror sci-fi, with Jason Robards leading a theater troupe stalked by a phantom killer. Director Gordon Hessler created something caught between giallo thriller, art film, and grand guignol theater, which meant it satisfied nobody. Too artsy for horror fans expecting gore, too violent for art house crowds, the film disappeared into distribution limbo. American audiences barely saw it, and critics who did were baffled by its tonal shifts. But Murders in the Rue Morgue showcased stunning cinematography, committed performances, and genuine weirdness. 8. The Noah, 1975. One actor, one location, almost no dialogue. The Noah follows a soldier alone in an underground bunker, slowly losing his mind as isolation destroys his grip on reality. It's less a traditional film than a psychological endurance test, exploring what happens when humans are completely alone. Its experimental nature guaranteed obscurity. Distributors had no idea how to market a dialogue-free, single-actor sci-fi drama. The few who saw it found it too claustrophobic, too weird, too challenging. Today, The Noah looks like a precursor to films like Moon and the Martian's isolation sequences. 9. Punishment Park, 1971. Peter Watkins created a pseudo-documentary nightmare. Political dissidents given a choice between lengthy prison sentences or 3 days in the desert being hunted by authorities. Shot like a news documentary, it blurred fiction and reality in ways that terrified audiences. The film was too politically explosive for widespread release. It was banned in several countries and received minimal US distribution. Critics called it dangerous propaganda. Both left and right attacked it, and it vanished. Punishment Park's vision of authoritarian America hunting its own citizens feels horrifyingly prescient. Its documentary style made the horror feel real, and its questions about state violence, civil liberties, and political persecution remain urgent. The film was so ahead of its time that we're still catching up. 10. The Gladiators, 1969, released in US 1970. This Swedish film imagined nations settling conflicts through televised war games where international teams fight to the death. It predicted reality TV violence, the Hunger Games, and Battle Royale decades early, wrapping it in anti-war satire. American audiences never saw it properly. Foreign film distribution was limited, subtitles scared away mainstream crowds, and its dark satirical tone confused those expecting straightforward action. The Gladiators was critiquing media violence, nationalism, and spectacle politics before these became defining features of modern culture. Its vision of entertainment replacing actual war while maintaining all the brutality feels like prophecy. Sometimes, European cinema sees American culture's future more clearly than America itself. 11. The Forbin Project, 1970. Universal Pictures released Colossus. The Forbin Project, with almost no marketing, dooming a genuinely prescient thriller about artificial intelligence. The story follows Dr. Forbin, who creates a supercomputer to manage America's nuclear arsenal. Then it links with its Soviet counterpart, and together, they decide humanity is too dangerous to control its own fate. The film disappeared quickly despite critical praise. Audiences in 1970 weren't ready for a movie where computers win and humans lose. No happy ending, no last-minute human triumph, just cold logic defeating human will. It was too dark, too pessimistic for Cold War audiences. Today, the Forbin Project looks like prophecy. Its exploration of AI surpassing human control, algorithmic decision-making, and machines concluding they know better than their creators feels ripped from current headlines. The film predicted our AI anxiety 50 years early, making it one of the most relevant lost sci-fi films of the decade. 12. The Mind of Mr. Soames, 1970. Terence Stamp played a man waking from a 30-year coma with the mind of an infant. The film explored whether he could be educated into humanity or if something fundamental was lost, asking profound questions about consciousness, identity, and what makes us human. Its quiet, cerebral approach guaranteed commercial failure. No action, no spectacle, just ethical dilemmas and psychological drama. Audiences expecting sci-fi thrills found a chamber piece about learning and humanity instead. The Mind of Mr. Soames tackled questions about consciousness that neuroscience still grapples with today. Its exploration of nature versus nurture, the ethics of human experimentation, and what defines personhood feels more relevant than ever. Thoughtful sci-fi doesn't always win audiences, but it ages beautifully. 13. Zaat, 1971. A mad scientist transforms himself into a fish monster to exact revenge on those who wronged him. Zaat is legendarily terrible, featuring rubber suits, incomprehensible science, and production values that make Ed Wood look competent. Yet, it has an actual environmental message buried in the madness. The film disappeared into drive-in obscurity until Mystery Science Theater 3000 resurrected it as gloriously awful entertainment. Its reputation as one of the worst films ever made overshadows everything else. But beneath the incompetence lies genuine anger about water pollution and environmental destruction. The scientist's transformation into a fish creature was meant as a statement about humanity's relationship with nature. It's a noble idea executed so poorly it became comedy. Sometimes ambition and ability don't match. 14. The Last Man on Earth, re-released 1970s. Vincent Price starred in the first adaptation of Richard Matheson's I Am Legend, predating Charlton Heston's The Omega Man. Price played the last human among vampire-like creatures in a haunting black-and-white nightmare that stayed closer to Matheson's original vision. It got lost between Italian and American distribution, then was overshadowed when The Omega Man became the official version. For decades, people forgot Price's version existed at all. Modern audiences recognize The Last Man on Earth as the superior adaptation. Price's melancholic performance captures Matheson's themes better than any remake. Its influence on George Romero's Night of the Living Dead is undeniable. Sometimes the first version is the best, even if nobody remembers it. 15. The Incredible Melting Man, 1977. An astronaut returns from space and begins melting, leaving a trail of gooey destruction across the countryside. It sounds like pure exploitation trash, and in many ways it is. But Rick Baker's practical effects work is genuinely impressive, creating disturbing body horror that still holds up. Drive-in audiences dismissed it as B-movie garbage, and it disappeared into late-night television obscurity. Its reputation as schlock overshadowed any artistic merit. Yet the Incredible Melting Man represented real craftsmanship in practical effects. Baker would go on to win multiple Oscars, and his work here shows early genius. The film itself is a mess, but it's a beautifully crafted mess that proves even trash cinema can showcase real artistry. 15 sci-fi films the 1970s tried to bury. Some deserved obscurity, others deserved so much better. Which of these lost films would you rescue from the vault? Drop your thoughts below, Hit subscribe for more forgotten cinema, and remember, every decade has masterpieces hiding in the shadows waiting to be rediscovered.